Welcome back to the Sixth Man. And today it's me and the Asian Adam Silver. And I wanted to discuss, as the playoffs approach, some of those poison pill matchups. So for those top four seeds, you've had an amazing season. You got a great record. You're a top four seed. You got first home court advantage in round number one. And then you've got to play a team who could potentially knock you out. And I want to talk about who they are in the East and the West. I've got two teams on my mind. The first one, and they have been slipping a bit lately. Let's look at the Brooklyn Nets. They currently are, I believe, in the 8th spot, but we expect them to kind of win that first round playoff matchup and then obviously slot into the 7. So if you're the number 2 seed, you've got to see Kevin Durant in the first round. Alex, you've got a team who could be there. What do you think about
that? Brooklyn. There's been a lot of narrative around them, mainly because they're the second favorite to win the East. This team has a couple of problems. Seth Curry is out. He said to himself, which is, I mean, thankful for Philly, is like he basically said he needed a month to recover. So he's not at 100%. He's a key piece for them, I think. Someone who space the floor, shoots the ball really well. Just another weapon in their arsenal. Another thing is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has been, Steve Nash confirmed, and he said he's not going to be playing for the play-in tournament. I don't think that will matter, but if you're trading for a guy, and we all know how small championship windows can be and how quickly they can go, you want him to be playing in the biggest games of the season, regardless of if he hasn't had reps. And I'm sorry to say it, but you've got to be in a place when you're ready to play. And I just don't see how, if you love the sport of basketball, you are a competitor. And I just don't think he likes. I think he likes the lifestyle. He doesn't really care about the competition things. You want to be with your team. Winner takes all. This is for everything. This is why we play all season long. I don't know what's going on with the back situation. There was the mental health issues. Now the back problem is a bigger issue. It's all a bit weird what's going on. Then you've got Kyrie Irving. His productivity has dropped off mainly because he's playing more games now. He had a really good game last night. He's still a problem. Regardless of what anybody says, he is still going to win you a couple of games in the series. They're super dangerous to me. I think if they were at full strength, they would easily, I think they would probably be where Miami are right now, in my opinion. I still think they're super dangerous, regardless of their depth. What do you think? I was rambling, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. I think that when fully healthy, they are someone who could challenge any of those top four. It's a problem to have that team coming in. A week or two ago, I think everyone was getting a little bit worried and maybe would even try and tank to avoid them. They were that scary. But not having Seth and not having Ben, it means all of a sudden, like KD and Kyrie can average 30 each in a playoff series. But where's the rest of the points coming from? Without Seth, their offense is nowhere near as potent. And I think they struggle to get up to that, 110, 120 points, where we've seen them do that so easily this season. They're a team that can score. However, without Ben and what they've shown all season is they can't defend. Teams are putting up a lot of points on the Nets, and I think even someone like Miami, who are not a great offensive team, would be able to run past them. Like there's no one to guard Tyler Hero. He would run rampant on them, and it means as a result in their current form, they're probably not dangerous to any of the current top four, unless obviously. Stars do star things. I think KD and Kyrie could make it interesting, but it would only be interesting. It wouldn't be like they could completely blow an opponent out of the water.
My bold prediction is Brooklyn Nets are not getting bounced out of the first round.
No, you think they're going to win?
I think if I'm looking at the matchups, they can beat us. They can beat Philly. They can beat Boston. Miami and Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee could easily go 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Miami, I think they can easily get out of the first round. I think that's my bold prediction.
Yeah, I think
I'll live and die on that.
I don't think that their offense is not good enough to get past the Celtics. And I know the Celtics are missing one of their most important defensive players in Robert Williams, who might be back at some point during the playoffs, but I still think they're not good enough to get past the Celtics. I think Tatum is the sort of person who can rise to the moment and go toe-to-toe against Durant. And Marcus Smart is going to make Kyrie Irving's life difficult, to say the least. So I think they can neutralize that. Their defense is just so good, and that team will be able to score more than score on the nets.
Who did Brooklyn play in the playoffs last year?
Oh, did they bounce the Celtics?
They played Boston. They played Boston in 5. They beat them by 5. Look at Brooklyn's squad and tell me what is different. Yes, they don't have James Harden.
Yeah,
I think they can easily do it.
I think Boston, like, look at how good Boston is a number 2 seed, but they really only started playing in like December or like Jan. Like they've been so much better than their record shows. I don't think Boston would have any problem walking out scared of anyone. Miami again. Philly is entirely dependent on how James Harden plays. If James Harden plays even half decent, you guys won't have a problem. Because we know Embiid's going to kill it. But we will see. It's a difficult one for them given the injury status. But let's take it to the West then, because at the moment in the play-in we've got Minnesota, LA, the Pelicans, and the Spurs. Now, there's a few teams in here. Minnesota can be dangerous, but I don't think they pose a real threat to anyone in the top 4 there.
Shout out to the Spurs.
Yeah,
my team. Shout out to the Spurs, man. They got rid of Derek White, and who was like one of the biggest salaries, and they still make the play-ins.
Yeah,
a team that is. They're one of my teams.
They're really good.
Dude, yeah, so good. Shout out to them.
I'll be honest, I don't think they're making the playoffs though. I think it's going to be two of the other 3, which is absolutely fine. They've made a decent run this season. Timberwolves kind of, they've got some good players, but I think the playoff inexperience will show. And that brings us to the other 2. So the Pelicans might be getting Zion Williamson back.
What is he doing? Why is Zion Williamson posting a video doing a through the leg dunk, which is so difficult to do, and you're not playing, you're out for the season? Mixed messages or what?
Mixed messages. But hypothetically, if they manage to slide into, it would be the 8th seed. Oh yeah, okay. It's not going to be them, because if they slide into the 8th seed, they're definitely not beating the Suns. So we can even if Zion came back, it's no contest. They're not beating that team, so we can kind of rule them out. The Clippers, however, just had that massive comeback win against the Jazz. Might be a reflection on the Jazz, where Paul George came back, and after not playing for what I think it was something like 40 or 50 games, just goes absolutely nuts and helps them win that game. Paul George is on his day. I think he can be his top 10 player. He's someone you mentioned in that conversation.
They went to the conference finals.
Yeah, and rumors have it that Kawhi's coming up to kind of a year since his injury. If he was to come back as well, and if those guys find themselves in the 7 seed, imagine being the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But if it happened, you're the Memphis Grizzlies, and you're like, now I've got to play Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And
the Grizzlies going to the conference finals. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to the conference finals. This team has way too much chemistry, has performed without their star, has an interchangeable lineup. So yes, you only run 7 or 8 men deep in the playoffs, but if it comes to a game where they need to change it up, they can do that. I have so much confidence in this team. It's ridiculous. I need to see a Phoenix-Memphis conference final. I'm not bothered about Golden State, not at all. They've won in the past, But yeah, I would be so angry if I was Foley right now. They've had such an incredible season, And if they get Kawhi back, we don't know what Kawhi is going to be because he's
Oh
just a
yeah,
mystery. He's
after
a man of mystery. Like he doesn't really reveal anything. And the fact that he's been out for so long and now he's suddenly practicing is what you were telling me.
well, there's
Is
rumors that he might be coming back. I don't think he's officially even practicing with the team or anything. I think there's just could
Bray,
happen, but you never know.
Bray, if there's rumors, he's coming back. Like there's no smoke without fire, right? There's no
Yeah.
way they post this stuff and it's not happening. Like you're either you're 100% out or you're 100% in. You're not 50-50 and you're not like, oh, it's going to be a game time decision. I think if there's a playoff game, especially if it's a one-off game that he's playing, that's just the way I see it. Like
The other thing that I do want to point out as well, even without Kawhi, arguably, and he might be the most important person on that team, is Ty Lue. That man is an absolute genius. He dismantled some teams last time in the playoffs. What he's been able to do with this group is incredible. And Taylor Jenkins, the Grizzlies coach, has been really, really good as well. But I don't know. I don't think he has that kind of playoff experience like Ty Lue showed us last year. I think Ty Lue, game to game, he's one of the best in-game coaches around. He knows the adjustments to make. He knows how to expose you. The Grizzlies, having relied on a really, really deep roster, are going to have to shorten it. People are going to be playing more minutes. And Jar's been out for a little while as well. I would be concerned about seeing them. I would be wishing the Minnesota Timberwolves can win that game. If I'm the Grizzlies.
Yeah, for sure. But if you're a team, you shouldn't be. I always hate when teams dodge other teams. Like you've got to play, you've got to be the best to be the best. And I think even if they get the Clippers, I think they're still winning that series in 6.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it is definitely. I do think it's a potential banana skin for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be totally shocked if they did. Don't think it would be a sweep or anything. I think it would go 6 or 7 if they end up playing the Clippers. It might be, and they get chucked out the first round. I think it's an inexperienced team. You can't be too hard on yourself. But I think that would probably spur them on, and they will come back. They would definitely come back stronger next year, I would say. So yeah, I do really hope they get past the first round, though. I would like to see them go on a deep playoff run because that experience
you're going to see it.
Really invaluable.
You're going to see it.
There you go.
The Grizzlies are going to do well.
The prediction from the Asian Adam Silver there. Grizzlies going to the conference finals, regardless of the threat that is the Clippers.
There's one more team as well. Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta Hawks are a potential team.
Okay, now
their problem.
It looks like they would, if they make it through, which they probably will. They would have to play the Hornets at home, which they can definitely win, and then they probably have to play the Cavs away, which they can definitely win again.
Tough game.
It's very
tough.
A good
matchup.
But Trae Young's the best player on the court, and that's normally how you have to go. He likes big moments.
He loves.
I think he could get them into that 8 spot, but they've then got to go and play Miami. I don't know if they're tough enough to beat Miami. They have the talent.
Any team that comes through, if you're matched up against Philly, I think you'd just be looking at it.
But no, but because Miami have stretched themselves, it's definitely going to be the 1-8. So it's not they would love to be going against Philly. I don't think they're going to get that opportunity.
You say that, but they're tied with the Nets. So if they creep into 7-8, I don't know who the Hawks are going to play, but they're a big banana skin, and I don't want any part of them, regardless, because it's about players
they have
who can perform a big, and 7-3 in the last 10. It's a form. It's about being on form. Like you said with the Celtics, they're in a good run of form.
They did just beat the Nets a few days ago. which was about 3 or 4 days ago, which was good. But then before that, the teams they beat they should have won them. They've got Washington, Miami, that'll be a big one, and Houston left.
Can you speak to your man BD and get yourself a win so we can move up the standings a little bit? Can you speak to them?
I mean,
sort it out tonight. Beat the Celtics tonight for me. Yeah.
We haven't got a chance against the Celtics. Honestly, it just goes to show how important Lonzo Ball is. Lonzo Ball is so important.
I will say this: the Bucks and the Celtics play on tomorrow night. That's gonna be good. All right, yeah, that was good.
We like it. There are some potential banana skins for those first round matchups. Honestly, if I had to bet, I reckon the top seeds coming out of all of them. I don't think anyone's really having too much trouble. But hey ho, injuries dependent. We will see.